experience, right? It's actually an experience. And when you're learning and hearing amazing speakers speak to this path, I love that quote from Kumaraswamy about we have to first kind of study the practice of yoga to sometimes understand what we're looking at. And so I'm going to share with you a little bit of that. The lineage I come from is a Krishnamacharya lineage, which is kind of at the end of the exhibit. Did you all see the exhibit? Yes? Well, okay, hopefully you'll get to see it. But at the end of the exhibit is a beautiful panel of videos. And Krishnamacharya we owe so much to him, and he only has a few great students left that are teachers, and I share the teachings from them. I'm going to speak to 3 of the 8 limbs. In the Yoga Sutras, Patanjali, he speaks of 3 types of yoga. And the first one, interestingly, is Kriya Yoga that has tapas. This is the first one. And then there's this system that I call kind of the science, intelligent science of yoga, called the Ashtanga. And it's not the Ashtanga system just associated with Sri Patabi Joyce, but it is much broader and expanded than that. And I want to speak to 3 of them and have us do a little practice. How many of you are familiar with yoga or the practice of yoga? Awesome. So the first, I want to speak to movement, to breath, and to silence. We will do it through experience. So let us begin. You ready? Ready to stand up, right? So let's actually stand up. And the first limb is the asana. And we have space. So maybe give yourself space or come out in the aisles, so you have some space with your arms. Asana, I can speak to asana a lot, but I'm going to keep it simple. It's just your seat, your posture. But it is fueled by what gives us life, which is what? Breath. Exactly, which is fueled by breath. So our movement begins with a connection to our breath. So I just want you to stand and let your arms relax by your side. And just close your eyes for a moment. Just take a nice breath in and exhale. Now you can open your eyes if you prefer or have a soft gaze. And I just want this movement to be so connected to the breath. So don't put in any ideas of my arm has to do this or that, okay? So you're going to inhale, and you're just going to see where both arms lift up to. And then you're going to exhale and let both arms come down. And this is all I'd like you to do for a few minutes. Not a few minutes, for a few moments. Just slowly lifting the arms up and being exploratory, being in the experience of your breath. Now, the physical movement, we begin with this deep reverence for the spine. Because the very first part of you that's created by day 15 in your mother's womb was the spinal cord. And everything else is protecting it. So we're going to go through 7 movements of the spine right now. So on your next inhale, you're reaching up, and this is what we call axial, elongation. Just spend a few moments here, lengthening, lifting, feeling your feet press down into the ground. And thank you so much for maybe taking your shoes off. And now release your right arm down by your side and slowly side bend to the right side. Yeah, lateral. Right? And then inhale, reach the right arm up. And then as you exhale, following your breath, take it over to the left side. And just continue, and maybe close your eyes so you don't get so attached to what others' rhythms are, what this should look like. And just keep going side to side, guided with your breath. And pranayama, you can define it as being a way of controlling your breath. I come from a school of thought that it is ayama, a way of liberating your life force, moving it. Beautiful. Then slowly, let's reach both arms up and release the arms down. This is such a nice thing to do before you're ready to receive some nourishment to a food, to move your bodies. And the next 2 movements are the twists, which help stimulate and invigorate. So this one, you're going to take your feet, I'm just taking a little side so you can see feet a little bit apart. You're going to bend your knees and just sit back. I don't want we call this fierce pose, but I don't want it so fierce, like a little bit like a kitty cat versus a lion, right? And I'm going to put the mic down for a moment just to show you. And I bet you my voice is loud enough, right, that you can hear. So what you're going to do is take your left hand to the right thigh, and your right arm is going to circle around, and you're going to follow your right hand all around and circle it a few times. Your hips are staying back, your knees are staying forward, your feet are grounded, and you're just taking this new perspective to the side of this room, to your side plane, and circling one of the greatest joints of our body, our shoulders. And then you're also opening your chest to the right side, giving a little rotation. Beautiful. And then you bring the right hand down, and then you slowly lengthen, find elongation, and then take it to the other side. So you sit back just enough. Your left hand circles around. So just be mindful when you're bending your knees is to keep your stance stable so you don't twist from the hips or the lumbar. Our anatomy, when you just look at the spine, it's intended that we twist more from the thoracic and the cervical. So let your rib cage open to the side. Let your gaze drift. Yeah. And you're looking to the left. And yeah, you're following your left hand for a few rounds. And try to keep your knees forward. Try to keep yeah, exactly. Do 2 more. Very nice. And then we release. Thank you. And we lengthen. The next one is flexion extension, which is the most common. This is where we usually begin all our movements with this primordial dance. I'm a big embryologist. I believe when you look at how creation is, it gives you a lot of information. And in those first 2 weeks of life, you are doing a dance like this. You're folding in and out of yourself in the embryo. And so when we begin our movements, there's something very primordial about moving like this that connects us. So what I'd like you to do, we're going to use the arms, and I'll demo. You're going to inhale. And then as you exhale, I want you to allow yourself to let your head bow, your arms come forward, and a little bit of this internal rotation. And then as you come up, maybe allow that extension, a little bit of a back bend. And then again, just join me when you're ready, but allowing that kyphotic kind of nature of the upper back. And exhale. Now if you want, you can add a layer, which as you exhale, maybe you just sink in and round a little bit more. And you inhale. And just be with your own breath. Inhaling and smooth your breath. And if you feel like you're rushing, slow it. And if you feel that you are not pausing in between the breaths, give it a little bit of space. Very nice. And then your next one, bring it down, your arms by your side, to standing mountain Tadasana. So open your palms forward and just take a moment, close your eyes, and just go into the experience of mountain. Allowing your feet to feel very grounded. And maybe just shift weight a little bit forward and back. Maybe side to side on your feet. And then find that perfect place for you. And wherever that is, where you're balanced, press your feet firmly down, root down, and find your length. And imagine the crown of your head reaching up to the sky. And breathe into that experience. To the experience of being with yourself. not just a form, but with yourself. And then take a fresh breath, and as you open the mouth, just exhale. And slowly blink the eyes open. So let's take a seat now as we move into more of the subtle layers. Just sit on a chair just to make it easy. We're all in the same place. And I want to share with you a pranayama. And I thought about this a lot because I don't know anyone here and I want to be very mindful. But there's just one that I love and I feel it's so accessible. And it's Brahmari. Do you all know Brahmari pranayama? It's the bee breath. And it speaks to pratyahara, which is the limb that kind of is a transition to the more subtle layers of this journey, the pilgrimage of the 8 members. The pratyahara means the withdrawing of the senses, but what are you withdrawing from, and what are you withdrawing to? These are very important questions you have to ask yourself on the journey. Are you withdrawing from something and to something, or are you just withdrawing? I feel there's always intention. So we are drawing our senses from the outside world to the inner world. And this breath addresses it in a very powerful, accessible way. After I'm going to teach it, we're going to do it 5 times. And I do things 5 or 7 times. 5 times is usually for the Panchamaya, to honor the layers. And after the 5th time that you do this, and you honor your own rhythm, you're going to slowly bring your hands down onto your legs and just remain there in that experience. I will then do a little guided meditation, and then you'll be ready to be nourished. This breath is very safe, and I feel there's not a lot of contradictory issues to worry about, so feel very comfortable. But if you do the first hum and you get very agitated, agitation is a sign to just back off. It's a very beautiful sign that the body gives you when it's agitated. So let me demo for you. On our ear, we have this little cartilage that kind of juts out. When we cover our ears, we don't stick our thumbs in our ears. We gently close this flap. And we're going to do this, but observe because you won't be able to hear me, because it really takes your sense of hearing in. Then these 4 fingers, I will not teach the marma points. I'm going to be very light with that. But I will ask that you just cover your eyes and your index finger at least be under the eyebrows. Okay? And you're going to take your inner gaze and take it to your 3rd eye. And if you've never been able to just connect to that very sacred part of you, this is a beautiful way in, because you'll be able to just go in and you're just observing, have no expectation of what's there. Just say, hey, I'm just going to see what is there, but don't expect anything, right? And we'll hum 5 times, and then you'll bring your hands down. I'll do one demo. Your shoulders are relaxed, your elbows relaxed, but they're high, they're not so low. Your hum will be long. Honor your own breaths. So you're not going to care that I'm going to keep up with me or with your neighbor. Just yourselves. This is so great for allergies, for headaches, for sinuses, for when you work with a computer and you just think of all the information you're taking in. Just, this is the first day, right? Some of you are here for all 3 days. It is a lot. So take time, starting today, to just rest the sense and let the mind go in. Inner work. Okay, we ready? Questions, concerns, nothing?
The breath on that is...
So you inhale and you...
the hum is the exhale.
Exactly, the hum is the exhale. Okay, so let's cover the ears, and when you're ready, covering your eyes, take 5 hums. Inhaling. Feel your feet comfortably on the ground. Feel your seat comfortable and your spine spacious. Silence is not a vacuum. It is a space that contains vibration as long as there is life. The yogis call this pranava. Pranava. Just allow yourself to experience the vibration that is here with you right now. In your body. With your breath. In your mind. In your heart. And in the experience of your complete whole being. Allow your breath to remind you of your life. And we'll bring the hands together in front of the heart space. And you can join me for a kind of a finishing Om. But just let's remember this pranava. The sutras speak that all that is this hum. But we needed to somehow capture it. Right? Like in sculptures and art, we needed to capture it in a word. And the word is Om. So you can hum or chant Om with me. Join me if you would like. Just one round. Inhaling. And our time with a beautiful smile, gentle bow, recognizing and seeing each other as whole, complete beings. May it begin by first seeing ourselves